5, Hallie Turner. Just about ready to go in game number 2. Lady Bulldogs won game 1 4-3. Charlie Rose Tierce on the hill for the Lady Bulldogs. Freshman from Germantown, from Madison Central. 4-1 on the season, 2.93 ERA. And Hallie Turner at the plate for Itawamba. 1-1 is the count. Here's a 1-1. Pitch misses for ball number 2. 2 balls and a strike to Turner. Pitch misses for ball number 3. Turner 0 for 4 in game number 1. Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss for strike number 2 to Turner. Clouds are back out here. And Goodman said tomorrow may not be a fun day. Here's the 3-2. Ball's popped up. Walsh is there for out number 1. Batter number 8, Lakeland Nichols. So Nichols steps in. She ran bases in game number 1. Pitch called a ball to Nichols, freshman from Moorville. Here's a 1-0. Bunny foul for strike number 1. 1 strike is the count. Nichols 450, 20 at bat, 7 runs, 9 hits, and 1 RBI. Swing and misses for strike number 2. 1 strikes with Chloe McLean on deck. She was 1 for 2 for the Indians in game 1. Here's a pitch. Pitch misses for ball number 2. 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on for Itawamba in the top of the first. 2-2. Fouled off. Count remains 2-2. Pitch misses for ball number 3. So Tierce falls behind on the first 2 batters, 3-2. Three-two pitch. Fouled off. Count remains 3-2. So it's McLean and then Riley Tyree. Pitch popped out of play once again. Still 3-2. To Lakeland Nichols. Three-two pitch. Called ball number 4. Batter number 22, Chloe McLean. McLean catching in this game. Nichols is in center field. And the runner at first. Pitch is a strike from Tierce. Ball's bunted, foul for strike number 2. So McLean in the hole, 0-2. So Tierce is the pitcher. Miles is catching. Williams at third. Walsh at short. Carpenter at second. Runners on the move. Throw down is not going to be in time. Carpenter at second. McGee at first. Glasgow in left. Mitchell in center. And Macy Coleman in right. 1-2 strikes is the count to McLean. Here's a 1-2. Ball's hit to Walsh. Walsh checks a runner, throws to first, throw over to third. It's going to bounce and not going to be in time. Batter number 30, Riley Tyree. So Riley Tyree steps in. Called a strike. She was 0 for 3 in game number 1. Here's the 0-1. Hit to Walsh at short. Throw to first. Is in time. Nothing doing for the Indians in the top of the first. After 1/2, there's no score. Leading off for the Lady Bulldogs in the bottom of the first, number 42, Blair Walsh. So Blair Walsh steps in. No score here in the bottom of the first. She was 1 for 4, scored a run in game number 1. Pitches a strike to Walsh. Alyssa Clift on the hill for Itawamba. 9.92 ERA, 0-2, 12 innings, 21 hits, and 20 runs. Pitches a strike to Walsh, 1-2 to the freshman from Centerville. Played at Amet School Center. Here's the 1-2. Ball's popped up down the first base line and is out of play. Stegall playing first in game number 2, Sadie Stegall. Cooper is at second. Clift is the pitcher. We'll give you the rest as McLean is catcher for Itawamba. Here's the pitch. Fouled and caught by the catcher for out number 1. Batter number 1, Jaden Miles. So one down as Miles steps in. She had a big game in game number one, 2 for 3. Scored a run, 2 RBI for Jaden Miles. Catcher. Pitch is high for ball one. Pitch message for ball number two. 2 balls, no strikes to Jaden Miles. Just underway here in game number two. Holmes won game number one, 4-3. Miles fouls it out of play. 2 balls and a strike to Miles. Abby McGee is on deck. Two balls and a strike. Here's the 2-1. Ball's hit too short over to first in time for out number two. Batter number 22, Abby McGee. So two down from McGee, 1 for 3, and 2 RBI. Pitch is a ball on the outside. Ball's hit over to first base. Catch is made for out number 3. Doesn't do it for Lady Bulldogs in the bottom of the first. After 1, there's no score. Leading off the top of the second for Itawamba, number 25, Emma Rose Thompson. Thompson steps in for Itawamba. Pitch is a strike on the outside corner. No balls, 1 strike to Thompson. Swing and a miss for strike number 2. Thompson 1 for 3 in game 1. Hits it out to Walsh. Over to McGee in time for out number 1. Batter number 1, Sammy Day Jones. So 1 down for Jones. She was 2 for 4 in game number 1. Played in center field, playing in left field in this game. 1 ball, no strikes is the count. With 1 down, nobody on for Itawamba. Here's a 1-0. Fouled out of play for strike number 1. Pitch misses for ball number 2. 2 balls and 1 strike is the count. Jones with 1 down. Here's a 2-1. This is for ball number 3. 3 balls and a strike. Pitch is a strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's a 3-2. Foul ball down the left field line. Count remains 3-2. Still 3-2. Three-two pitch. Fouled off once again. Count remains 3-2. So Day Jones is battling. Sammy Day Jones from Raglan, Alabama, sophomore outfielder. Pitch. Fouled off once again. Three-two. Call ball number 4. So Day Jones goes down to first base. Batter number 14, Sadie Stegall. So Sadie Stegall playing at first. 250 hitter. And hits it to the wall in center. Day Jones round second, heads for third. So Itawamba has 2 runners on with 1 down. Batter number 6, Avery Wolf. Wolf was 0 for 3 in game 1. Swing and a miss for strike number 1. The ball's in the strike. Here's the 0-1 to Wolf. Ball number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two balls in the strike to Wolf. Two one. Foul back for strike number 2. Swing and a miss for out number 2. Batter number 13, Camden Cooper. So Cooper steps in. First pitch is a ball from Tierce. Cooper is 0 for 3 in game one. There's a 1-0. Pitch is a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cooper. Itawamba with 2 runners in scoring position now with 2 down. 1-1. This is for ball number 2. 2 balls and a strike. Two one pitch. Ball's hit out to left field. Catch is made. 4 out in number 3. Nothing doing for Itawamba in the top of the second. After 1.5, there's no score. Welcome back to good. We're in the bottom of the second inning as Molly Swilly steps in. 1 for 3 in game number 1. Hits it over to Stegall for out number 1. Batter number 10, Macy Coleman. Coleman also 1 for 3 in game 1. So 1 down, no score here in the bottom of the second inning. Clift on the hill for Itawamba. Swing and a miss for Coleman. 4 strike number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out for the Lady Bulldogs. Lizzie Carpenter on deck. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss for strike number 2. Coleman hits it down the right field line, and it's going to be foul as the right fielder, Emma Rose Thompson, dives for it and just can't get there. Still 1-2 to Macy Coleman, sophomore from Kosciuszko, or Kaze. 1-2 pitch. Misses for ball number 2. I love how the umpire shakes his head if it's a ball. Nope. He says nope in his brain. Or it doesn't say anything if it's a ball. So 2-2. Almost hit her. Count goes full to Coleman. 1 down. Nobody on for the Lady Bulldogs. 3-2. Ball's hit, foul out of play. Itawamba has tied the game up in Fulton in the bottom of the ninth. They head to the 10th. After a good pitching performance from Mowdy, Bulldogs just couldn't hold off the Indians. Here's a pitch. Colvin out to Thompson for out number 2. Batter number 23, Lizzie Carpenter. So Carpenter, the sophomore from Yazoo City, steps in. 246, 57 at bats, 10 runs, 14 hits, and 9 RBI. First pitch to Carpenter is a strike. Here is the 0-1 up high for ball 1. Clift is a freshman from Jackson, Tennessee. 1-1 pitch. Fouled off for strike number 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two outs for the Lady Bulldogs in the bottom of the 2nd inning. No score. Here's a pitch. Carpenter hits it back to Clift. Over to Stegall for out number 3. Nothing doing for the Lady Bulldogs in the bottom of the 2nd. After 2, there's no score. Welcome back to Goodman. We're in the top of the 3rd as Turner steps in against Charlie Rose Tears. First pitch is a ball. Turner 0 for 1. Here in game number 2. Ball's hit foul for strike number 1. Hallie Turner, a sophomore from South Haven, played at Marshall Academy. Here's a 1-1. Ball's hit foul. Throws made just because, just in case. Would have been in time. But the count goes to 1-2 to Turner. One, two. Turner hits it out to Mitchell. Mitchell's there for out number 1. Batter number 8, Lakeland Nichols. Nichols steps in. Walked her first time up. So it's 1 down for Itawamba, top of the 3rd. This is game 2. Holmes won game 1, 4-3. Here's a pitch. Ball's bunted back 2 tiers. Over to McGee in time for out number 2. I'm not sure what they were saying. Not sure. Batter number 22, Chloe McLean. We're trying to see what's going on. Not sure. So McLean steps in. She says she was 0 for 1 in game number 1. Not sure. We had enough drama in game 1. We need game 2 to go smoothly. Here's a 1-0. Pitch on the outside for ball number 2. Goes outside. Broark and Swilly in the pen for Holmes. Counts 3-0. So it's 2 down for the Indians and nobody on. 3-0. Called a strike. So McLean thought about heading down to first base. 3-1 pitch. Call strike number 2. Count goes full 3-2 to McLean. Sophomore catcher from Fulton. 3-2 from Tiers. Call ball number 4. Batter number 30, Riley Tyree. So Tyree steps in, 0 for 1. Ball's hit foul for strike number 1. Top of the 3rd inning, no score between Holmes and Itawamba. Holmes basketball team will be playing Jones tomorrow at 3 o'clock at Tougaloo in the semifinals of the region. Tyree hits it to Walsh. Walsh steps, throws in time for out number 3. Nothing doing for the Indians in the top of the 3rd. After 2.5, there's no score. Leading off for the Lady Bulldogs in the bottom of the third, number 3, Gracie Williams. So Gracie Williams steps in for the Lady Bulldogs. Still having a discussion about that play at first, but we are not sure why. One ball, no strikes. Gracie 0 for 3 in game number 1. Clift on the hill. Next pitch is a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fouled off for strike number 2. 1 and 2 is the count to Gracie Williams. There's a 1-2. That was not a strike, even though she framed it well. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count. 2-2 pitch. Williams hits it out to short over to first in time for out number 1. Batter number 11, Meg Glasgow. The Glasgow steps in. 1 for 3. Scored 2 runs in game number 1. Here's a pitch. Glasgow bunts it back to Clift. Over to Cooper in time for out number 2. Batter number 2, Brooke Mitchell. Mitchell 1 for 2 with a strikeout in game number 1. Mitchell hits a base hit into left field. So Lady Bulldogs have a runner at first with 2 down. Batter number 42, Blair Walsh. So Walsh steps in. 0 for 1 with a strikeout here in her first at bat. Bottom of the third. No score, 2 outs for Holmes. Walsh shows bunt, fouls it off for strike number 1. Here's the 0-1. Walsh hits it down the right field line, and it is foul. That was definitely foul. But Trey ought to go out there and say, hey, that's a fair ball. Oh, and 2's the count on Walsh. Here's the 0-2. Walsh gets a piece of it. Cliff picks it up, throws it first. In time for out number 3. Another down for Lady Bulldogs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. After 3, there's no score. Emma Rose Thompson at the plate. Balls popped up. Caught by Blair Walsh for out number 1. Batter for the Indians, number 1, Sammy Day Jones. So Jones steps in with 1 out. Jones walked her first time up. Got all the way around to third base. Was unable to score. There's a 1-0. Whoa. That was delayed for strike number 1. Stegall on deck. Sadie Stegall. Day Jones pops it up. Carpenter and Walsh converge for out number 2. Batter number 14, Sadie Stegall. Stegall steps in 1 for 1 with a double. She hit it all the way to the fence. Pitch misses for ball 1. In the top of the 4th inning, there's no score between Holmes and Itawamba. Here's a 1-0. Ball number 2. Here's the 2-0. Stegall hits it to me for strike number 1. Thank goodness for a higher net, because that probably would have rattled the windows. I have seen it happen here before. Shattered the glass. Here's a 2-1. Misses for ball number 3, and nobody's on base, so the umpire was running for no reason. Unless Stegall's going to take off running to first and see how far she can get. Here's a 3-1 from Charlie Rose Tierce. Is strike number 2. To Stegall playing at first base for Itawamba in game number 2. Three-two pitch. Popped up. And people are scattering in the bleachers. So count remains 3-2. Thank goodness the little kids still weren't here, because they would have. You wasn't worried about it. 3 balls and 2 strikes is the count to Stegall. Ball's popped up. Miles was unable to make the catch. Stegall, freshman from Pontotoc. Here is the 3-2. Popped up, not a play again. Stegall playing at first base for the Indians here in game number 2. Here's a 3-2. The ball's popped up on the infield again. And the Lady Bulldogs can't make the catch. And he said Holmes touched it. And Stegall will be at first base. Batter number 6, Avery Wolf. So, bad mistake there by the Lady Bulldogs here in the top of the 4th. Ball is foul down third base. Coach Ernest Did a little dance to get out of the way. No balls, one strike. Pitch misses. Stegall still at first. One ball, one strike is the count. 2 Wolf. 1-1 pitch. Wolf hits it into left field. Same place the one they called foul earlier. But that having to be fair. Batter number 13, Camden Cooper. Cooper steps in for the Indians, 0 for 1. Pitches up high for ball 1. Here's the pitch. Cooper hits it out to left field. Glasgow can't make the catch. Itawamba score 1 run, and all the runners move up. So Stegall scores. Wolf to third and Cooper to second. Batter number 5, Hallie Turner. So 2 outs. Itawamba has picked up a run here in the top of the 4th. Two balls, no strikes is the count to Turner. With 2 runners in scoring position and 1 across here in the top of the 4th. 2-0 pitch from Tierce. Hit to Gracie Williams at third, over to McGee in time for out number 3. For the Indians in the top of the 4th, 1 run. After 3.5, it's Itawamba 1, Holmes 0. Welcome back to Goodman. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Itawamba leads 1-0 as Jaden Miles steps in. Pitch is a ball. That's what happens when you got 14 buttons to push over here. 1 ball, no strikes. Miles hits it foul down the third baseline. We hopefully will be a little deeper in this game before that sun sets, but we'll be able to switch to the outfield cam during that time. because it is blaring right now in my face. 1 ball, 1 strike. Miles hits it back to Clift over to Stegall in time for out number 1. Batter number 22, Abby McGee. So Abby McGee steps in looking for her first hit in game number 2. McGee hits it down to right field. Thompson's there for out number 2. Batter number 8, Campbell Blaine. John Campbell Blaine steps in. First time today. 227. 44 at bats, 10 runs, 10 hits. For the freshman from Kosciuszko, Bulldogs end up winning game 1 6-5 over the Indians. So Mowdy did not get the win, but he pitched a great game for the Bulldogs. So 2 down. Nobody on base here in the bottom of the 4th. First pitch called a strike to Blaine. From Clift. Freshman from Jackson, Tennessee. In the circle for Itawamba. Here's the 0-1. Pitch misses for ball number 1. One. Fouled off for strike number 2 to Campbell Blaine. One, 2. Message for ball number 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes is the count. Nobody on. 2-2. Message count goes full to Blaine. Three-two. Message for ball number 4. So Blaine heads down to first base with 2 outs. Batter number 10, Macy Coleman. So Coleman steps in. Looking for her first hit in game number 2. Here's a pitch called a strike. It looked like she was backing out as the ball was coming toward her. She's way on the outside of the box 1. Here's the 0-1. Ball's fouled for strike number 2. So Itawamba took a 1-0 lead in the top of the inning. We're in the bottom of the 4th of game number 2. Holmes won game 1 4-3. Here's a pitch. Up high for ball 1. Here's a 1-2. Coleman hits it to second. Throw to Stegall in time for out number 3. Another done for the Lady Bulldogs in the bottom of the 4th. After 4, it's Itawamba 1, Holmes 0. Leading off for the Indians in the top of the fifth inning, number 8, Lakeland Nichols. Back to the top of the fifth, Lakeland Nichols steps in, 0 for 1 with a walk, and she hits it into left field for a base hit, just like that. Batter number 22, Chloe McLean. McLean steps in. She's 0 for 1 with a walk. Nichols steals second. We call safe at second. She kind of slid past the bag. I didn't see what the count was. Guess he'll tell us. I don't know what that means. We'll wait and see if we get a count. I do that every time. Here's the pitch. We know it's at least 1-0. We'll wait and see. Still no signal from the home plate umpire. Pitch. Hit into left field for a base hit. Here comes a throw to home. And she runs into the catcher. And we will take a little break. So Nichols was injured at home plate, but she did score the run and walked off on her own power. Batter number 30, Riley Tyree. So 2-0 now for Itawamba. Runner at second base, and Tyree hits it out to Macy Coleman. Makes the catch. Throws in behind the runner for the first out. Batter number 25, Emma Rose Thompson. Emma Rose 0 for 2. Pitch misses for ball number 1 to Thompson. She's 0 for 1 with a walk. We're in the top of the 5th. Itawamba now leads 2-0. Thompson fouls it down the third base line. Let's see. Bulldog basketball player DeCorey Porter in the house. Bulldogs will play at 3 p.m. tomorrow at Tougaloo versus Jones. Here's a pitch. Pitch message for ball number 2. In the Region 23 semifinals, Bulldogs are 2 wins away for making their 4th trip to Hutchinson, Kansas. Here's a pitch. Pitch fouled off for strike number 2. So number 1 seed, number 2 seed, number 3 seed, number 5 seed left for the semifinals on the men's side. Here's a pitch. Ball's hit out to right field. Coleman goes back and makes the catch. Itawamba was able to tag up. They're going to send McLean for the 3rd run. Batter number 1, Sammy Day Jones. So Itawamba now leads 3-0. Here in the top of the 5th. Sammy Day Jones 0 for 1 with a walk. Fouls it off for strike number 1. No balls, 1 strike is the count. Pitch misses for ball 1. Itawamba 1 run in the 4th, 2 in this inning to go up 3-0. Here's a 1-1. Misses for ball number 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. To Sammy Day Jones. 2-1 pitch. Hit over to Walsh. Walsh fields it over to first. Is not going to be in time as Day Jones beats it out at first base. Batter number 14, Sadie Stegall. Here's a pitch. This is for ball 1. Charlie Rose Tears on the hill for Lady Bulldogs. Here's a 1-0. Ball's hit out to Walsh. Walsh over to first in time for out number 3. For Itawamba in the top of the 5th, 2 runs. After 4.5, it's Itawamba 3, Holmes 0. Leading off the bottom of the fifth for the Lady Bulldogs, number 23, Lizzie Carpenter. Welcome back to Goodman. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning. I think that's Tamaya Martin in left field for the Indians. For Lakeland Nichols. But we will check that when we can. So Lizzie Carpenter steps in. Here's a pitch. Ball number 1 to Carpenter. It is Martin in left field. Pitch to strike to Carpenter. She is 0 for 1 in game number 2. 1 ball, 1 strike from Clift. Carpenter fouls it off for strike number 2. Thank goodness from netting. Here's the 1-2. Pitch was on the left-hander's batter's box, so it definitely was not a good pitch. It was the first game, but not this game. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count. Here's a 2-2. Swing and a miss for out number 1. Batter number 3, Gracie Williams. So Williams steps in, 0 for 1. In game number 2, the Womblies 3-1, 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th. Pitch misses for ball number 1. Pitch is strike to Gracie Williams, freshman from Kosciuszko, playing at third base today. Here's the pitch. Williams hits it foul for strike number 2. One ball, 2 strikes is the count. Pitch is strike number 3. Batter number 11, Meg Glasgow. Glasgow steps in, 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Glasgow pops it up. Catch is made by Cooper for out number 3. Nothing doing for the Lady Bulldogs in the bottom of the 5th. We head to the 6th. It'll on the leads 3-0. Welcome back to Goodman. We're in the top of the sixth inning. Andy Sarton, who got the win in game one, is on the heel, and I guess that was a ball. Looked good to me. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Ball is hit by Wolf. Gracie Williams to first in time for out number one. Batter number 13, Camden Cooper. So Wolf grounds out for the first out here in the top of the sixth. Pitch to Cooper. Fouled off for strike number one. No balls in, one strike to Cooper. Second baseman for Itawamba. Cooper back to Sarton to McGee for out number two. Batter number 5, Hallie Turner. Turner steps in 0 for 3 in game number 2. And that one rolls up there for ball number 1. Guess it hit the plate, right? I heard thump. I don't know. Hey. One ball, no strikes. Here's a 1-0. Is ball number 2 from Andy Sarton. Top of the sixth, Itawamba leads 3-0. Holmes won game 1, 4-3. In the bottom of the seventh. Here's a pitch from Sarton. Misses for ball number 3. 3 balls, no strikes, 2 outs in the top of the sixth. Lady Bulldogs down to their last 6 outs to get something going to be able to tie the game. Pitch misses for ball number 4. Batter number 7, Tamaya Martin. So Martin steps in. She came in the game when Nichols got injured on a play at the plate in the last inning. Pitches a ball from Sarton. Martin playing in left field. One of them Sarton called a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count. One. Count goes to 2-1 to Martin. Turner, the runner at first, with 2 down. Two-one pitch. Line straight to Gracie Williams for out number 3. Nothing doing for Itawamba in the top of the 6th inning. After 5 1/2, it's Itawamba 3, Holmes 0. Leading off the bottom of the sixth for the Lady Bulldogs, number 2, Brooke Mitchell. So Mitchell steps in for the Lady Bulldogs. 1 for 1. That's the only hit for Holmes in game number 2. And pitch outside for ball 1. So Cliff is the pitcher, freshman from Jackson, Tennessee. He's done a good job for the Indians, only giving up 1 hit and no runs. Swing and a miss from Mitchell. Count goes to 1-2. Holmes will move to the top of the order after Brooke Mitchell. Pitch called strike for out number 1. Batter number 42, Blair Walsh. And that was definitely not a strike, but he called it one. So Walsh steps in, hitless on the day. Here's a pitch. And pitch called strike. I think Blues getting ready to go to the house. No balls, 1 strike. Here's a pitch. Walsh hits it out to right field. Thompson makes the catch for out number 2. Batter number 1, Jaden Miles. So 2 down for the Lady Bulldogs in the bottom of the 6th. Itawamba leads 3-0. 1 in the 4th and 2 in the 5th. Pitches the ball to Miles. Two outs, nobody on. Miles hits a foul for strike number 1. Holmes is scheduled to play Meridian on Saturday in Meridian. And baseball is scheduled to play Meridian here on Saturday. But the forecast doesn't look good at either location. So follow Holmes Athletics on Facebook and Twitter for any updates, along with holmesathletics.com. 2 balls and 1 strike to Miles with 2 down. Miles hits it off of Cooper, and she'll be safe at first. And she will be able to get to second. It should have been interference. And I think they were going to give her third anyway on a interference call. But Holmes has a runner at third. And Jaden Miles. Batter number 22, Abby McGee. He was pointing at third the whole time, and then the ball got away, and she was able to move to third on her own. So it's 2 down. Holmes has a runner at third base. Pitch called a strike to McGee. Fouled off for strike number 2 to Abby McGee. Freshman from Lake, playing at first in both games today. No balls, 2 strikes to McGee with 2 down. Here's the 0-2. Fouled off. Count remains 0-2. 0-2. Swing and a miss for out number 3. Nothing doing for the Lady Bulldogs in the bottom of the 6th inning. We head to the 7th. Itawamba leads 3-0. Leading off the top of the 7th, number 22, Chloe McLean. Pitch is a ball to Chloe McLean. We're in the top of the 7th. Lady Bulldogs trail 3-0 to Itawamba. McLean 1 for 2. Scored a run. Sarton on the hill. Her 2nd inning in relief of Charlie Rose Tierce. Here's a 1-1. Ball's hit. Sarton picks it up, throws it first. In time for out number 1. Ball has some funky spin on it. Not just funky. Batter number 30, Riley Tyree. So Tyree steps in. 0 for 3. In game number 2. Pitch misses for ball 1. Tyree hits it to Walsh. Walsh over to McGee. In time for out number 2. Batter number 25, Emma Rose Thompson. So Thompson steps in. Hitless. Pitch is a strike from Sarton. Thompson is hitless, but has an RBI. Ball's popped up out of play. Have to go back and see how that happened. Hitless with an RBI. And no walk. And no hit by pitch. Sometimes game changer is interesting. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's a pitch. Misses for ball number 1. One, 2. Hit foul, we think, down the third baseline. After today, we don't know. One ball, two strikes. Here's a 1-2. And that ball's hammered into the way back for a home run for Thompson. Batter number 1, Sammy Day Jones. So Thompson with a home run. Her third of the season. Here's a pitch. Pitch is a strike to Sammy Day Jones. She is 1 for 2 with a walk. Pitch is a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to Day Jones from Raglan, Alabama. Sophomore. Here's a pitch. Ball's hit foul for strike number 2. I think Sammy Day was going to keep rolling for a second. Runs like a deer. As we know, they can run. Deer, deer, deer. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. 1-2 pitch. Ball's hit past Carpenter in the center field. So Day Jones will be at first with 2 outs. Batter number 14, Sadie Stegall. So Stegall steps in with 2 down. 1 for 3, scored a run. Stegall hits it out to Mitchell. Catch is made for out number 3. For the Indians in the top of the 7th, 1 run after 6.5 is Itawamba 4, Holmes 0. Leading off the bottom of the 7th for the Bulldogs, number 8, Campbell Blaine. So Campbell Blaine steps in. Walked her first time up. Ball's hit out too short over to first. In time for out number 1. Bat number 10, Macy Coleman. Macy Coleman 0 for 2. Coleman hits it too short over to first. In time for out number 2, so Lady Bulldogs down to their final out. Batter number 9, Kayla Jennings. So Kayla Jennings will bat for Lizzie Carpenter with 2 down in the 7th. Itawamba leads 4-0. As we said, softball will be on the road at Meridian on Saturday. Pitch is a strike. It wasn't a strike, but it is a strike. Baseball will be right here in Goodman versus Meridian. I would say either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Here's the 0-1. This is for ball 1. To Kayla Jennings, freshman from Brandon. One. Jennings hits it foul down the first base line in the hole 1 and 2. One-two pitch. Misses. Checked her swing for ball number 2. Two. Fouled off. Count remains 2-2 to Jennings. Jennings with 1 home run on the season. .417 hitter for the Lady Bulldogs coming into today. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off once again. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Ball's popped up. She'll remain alive. 2-2. Two pitch. Ball's popped out to Cooper for out number 3. Final score game number 2 Itawamba 4, Holmes 0. Lady Bulldogs will be on the road this weekend at Meridian on Saturday. Thank you very much for coming out today. Please drive safely.